The single person bathed in the light was someone I could recognize anywhere. The fleeting outline merged with the image I was familiar with and fixed her within my vision. What? What? A face I knew well, a voice I couldn't mistake. However, all feelings of familiarity were overwritten by the taste of despair. She was the one person I didn't want to see in my current situation. The tone of that whisper was no different from the usual. Yeah, I wasn't surprised. My calmness made me realize that I'd given up on something right then and there. The place I belonged to was robbed from me and shattered beyond repair. My life was flipping between the ordinary and the extraordinary like a game of reverse. She was the last thread of hope for my day-to-day life, and her appearance here made it finally get consumed by the darkness. A part of me was glad, though. Having given up like this, I no longer had anything to lose. I could stare into the reality before me without any heavy sentimentalities wearing me down. The unchanged monotoneness of her voice prevented me from getting a grasp of her emotions. The mysterious side of her that used to be charming and attractive had turned eerie and ominous. God damn it. I nearly forgot my situation and let my tension slip away. Himuro was acting as arrogant as she was in my everyday life. However, I couldn't let myself get caught in that flow. I couldn't let this turn into a standard episode from a high school drama flick. I moved my body and made chains rattle. The fact that those words soothed my heart was absolutely embarrassing. I couldn't let my guard down. I couldn't let anyone I couldn't take anyone at face value. It was a game of deception with the difficulty set to ultra hard. One careless move would send me straight to a bad end. What? No! Oh, I'm already bad at these kind of games. You can't do that. You can't just say that up front, Ren. God damn it. Which was why... Himuro and that priest lived in the same church. Now she had just walked into the room where he had locked me up. That meant she was just like him. A white chess piece turned blood. Wow. That was by far the most logical conclusion. She answered with a perfect poker face. Her eyes were fixed on me, and I saw neither strength nor weakness within her gaze. Her pupils, akin to wintry lakes, made me feel uneasy. No good. I was the one interrogating her, damn it. I gave my all to fight against it. Even made my question as blunt as possible to prevent her from noticing my hastening heartbeat. Her question caught me off guard. No, that was a childish thing to say. For some reason though, I couldn't string a proper response to that. Was it because maybe, just maybe, she was actually lying to me? Or wasn't?
私が君を騙したり、裏切ったり、そういうことをすると思ってる。
I couldn't really deny that. I mean, given the fucking situation. But you know, what? Fuck it. Yeah, just that the past 18 hours didn't really matter. The resentment, the fear, and all those other emotions that were swirling within me. I felt them subside and lower my tension.
ただ先輩がこの場所にいるって事実がどうもしっくりこなくて。
そんなに不思議?
Yeah, a little weird. My eyes had already grown completely used to the darkness. The architecture of the stony prison walls and ceilings seemed somehow familiar? Are we in the church?
ここは
Oh my god! We're in the church! What the fuck? Why does the church have something like this?
それは分かってます。
You did?
そう。だったら私が自分の家にいるのは自然でしょ?
I had no clue.
問題はそうじゃなくて。
My instincts were screaming that I was about to be caught in a really bad trap. Although I could probably chalk that up to my head finally having gotten completely fried and rendered utterly useless. Himuro was so close to me. In both mind and body, she was closer to me than ever before.
先輩に悪意がなくて、でも俺を助けてくれる気もないって言うなら、どうしてここに?
Why is she here? Why did you come to this cell? I voiced the question plaguing my heart.
藤井君、単刀直入に言うね。
She spoke, her breath reaching my nose. It was so sweet and fresh that I felt like my own breathing would stop. Her allure made my heart turn restless.
私を抱いてほしいの。
What the fuck? Excuse me? The words came so suddenly that I had to take a moment to process them.
Huh?
It's a pretty 9 out of 10 reaction. Even I was surprised I could sound like that. That one sentence nearly forgot. Oh my, I'm like jumbling now because I am shocked. And the fuck? That one sentence nearly made me forget the situation I was in, which only proved how unexpected her request was.
単刀直入じゃないね。少し抽象的だったかな。
What? The Her weird comment or her own wording barely even mattered to me. You asked me to take her! But that could only mean...
そう。多分、君の考えてる想像であったら、
my god.
君の反応も正しいよ。
There's a time and place for certain things, and this is not the time or place for that certain thing.
No.
I couldn't even begin to understand her. What was her position? Her goal? Why did we have to do it here now?
難しく考えないで。今はそのためだけの女だと
What?
思ってくれて構わないから。
What?
そんな。
Something was off. No shit. Something was really off about her. Then again, that could be said about pretty much everything around me at this point. But all of this paled in comparison to the idea of doing it with her Himuro in our current circumstances. Maybe she's into bondage? That's a really bad comment.
精神は肉体の玩具なんだって。
What the fuck? What? Can I put this on YouTube? Oh my goodness. This is not good. Her dentist showed no hint of hesitation. Feeling the weight of her own volition, I realized that her approach was neither joke nor whim. I tried to understand what felt so abnormal about her. The warm fingertips tracing my cheek, the humidity of her gaze, all of it made me feel uneasy, almost as if I was looking at a child overcome with desperation.
どうして
藤井君には関係ないことだよ。
That couldn't be true. Himuro was acting way too weird. She was trembling with fear. She might have been looking straight into my eyes, but she wasn't seeing me. She was like a lost girl frantically running away from something.
動かないで。
I...
そんなこと
Did she even consider the circumstances? My situation wasn't light enough for something like this. The mentality supporting those reasonable thoughts was growing ever more distant, turning dimmer with each passing second. She was looking at me with eyes half shut, paralyzing my body and rendering me silent. The fingers she placed on my cheek were shaking. Her eyes were barren. She was holding it all in, refusing to tell me a single thing. However, the abruptness of her current actions were so like her usual self that I couldn't help but get a heartache.
一体どうして
Her movements came to a halt at my question, though seemingly not due to hesitation.
いらないんだよ、藤井君。理由なんていらないの。だから。
Himuro leveled her gaze with mine as she went on, her voice but a whisper.
軽蔑してくれていいから。
そんなこと
I couldn't. There was no way I could listen to the words of someone who didn't seem to hold a sliver of hope.
今だけで。
He was about to say something, but then suddenly stopped. She seemed to be lost in thought, to the point where it seemed like she had completely shut out the outside world. It was a state completely unique to her, as well as undeniable proof that the person before me was indeed Irae Himuro. Alright then, how would I deal with this?
ダメだ
I kept thinking and thinking and thinking, but in the end, I could only shake my head. No amount of thinking could make it seem less strange. I felt like there was no rhyme or reason to her actions, and I couldn't bring myself to believe that anything good could come out of this. Also, above all, I was deeply worried about Mary. She wasn't with me. I clearly remembered how the monstrous gold broke the guillotine and made her shatter into little pieces. What had become of her since then? From the fact that I was still breathing, I could discern that she too was alive. If the idea that she died filled me with paralyzing uneasiness.
今更だよ、藤井君。
Frankly, I found Himuro's advances to be very attractive. However,
今更なんかじゃないさ
I didn't want to lose anyone from her group. Friend-zoned! I didn't want those guys to take anyone away from me, so I couldn't play along with Himuro's desperation. After all,
諦めてないんだ俺は
Didn't you just give up like 20 minutes ago? That was why I couldn't let her complete her punishment to herself. It would be way too pathetic for me to give up and let her have her way with me. I might have looked miserable, but the fang in my heart was still sharp. I looked her straight in the eyes, imploring her to believe me. After staring at each other for a while, she, even though it didn't seem like she actually listened to me, backed away.
言っておくけど、私、諦めてないからね。
変な拗ね方しないでくださいよ
うるさいよ、バカ。藤井君なんか嫌いだ。
Felt like that wasn't the first time she told me that. Anyway, it seemed like I got her into a state I can converse with. I had no idea what she was trying to do with me, but I figured being honest was the best course of action here. So...
まあその元気そうでよかったですよ心配してたし気にしてたまた先輩と話せて嬉しい
Oh my god, did I avoid the YouTube maturity thing. Yay! Thank you, Ren. For once. Thank you. She looked away and nodded while hanging her head in embarrassment. God, I thought I had to edit this. Oh, thank goodness. Actually, it wouldn't make sense for this game to have any hentai or pornography since it's on Steam. So I guess I... Actually, hold on. Isn't Honey Pop on the game? On this? Never mind. I was wrong. It could have gone totally south. I pretended to ignore that and went on.
っていうかここ前にも思ったけど忍者屋敷みたいなとこですね。抜け道とか地下牢とかこんな状況じゃなかったら探検してみたいけど。ああ、それと先輩のその格好は一体どこを目指してるんですか。刺激的っていうかなんていうかゲームで。
If I had to find other comparisons, I'd go for Shrine Maiden, Shaman, or what was it again? Ah, right, Druid.
祭壇とかの上に乗せられて祈ってそうなイメージ。
Amiko.
つまり
You cut me off right before I could say how perfect of a fit it was for someone living in the church.
生贄っぽいって言いたいんでしょ。
Yep.
な、
No way. I'd never think that. I did. Her unexpected response rendered me completely speechless.
ごめん、冗談。
What? Was she really though? The amount of feelings poured into her tone seemed way beyond the level of a meager joke. There was resignation, there was ridicule, there was cursing, then there was a hint of lament and anger. She wasn't one to show a lot of emotion in our daily life, so I didn't think my ears deceived me.
いいよ、もう。きっと、ツケが回ってきちゃったんだと思う。この1年半くらい、楽しかったよね、藤井くん。
A year and a half since I enrolled into the school and met her there.
時間が止まればいいと思った。
The words that a certain idiot thought on a daily basis. But the earth continued to rotate and time continued to flow. All that had an end would eventually reach it.
私、あまり怒ったりしないんだけど、いくつか許せないことがあるんだ。
He looked at me. I could spot the self-derision in her tone.
それは、君に会ったこと。
Oh. Okay.
カール・クラフトが許せない。
You met Carl? Who? I was puzzled by the unfamiliar name, but she paid no heed to my confusion and continued to speak.
どうして君なの？
She touched my cheek and continued to quietly word her grudges.
私、君のこと嫌い。でも、この気持ちは私のものなの？私に優しい君の気持ちは誰のものなの？君が君じゃなかったら、私と君は出会わなかったの？
You love Tarissia or not? The same question I was asked by Valeria Trifa, the divine vessel. What did she know? What was she saying? What did I want to know?
君と一緒にいるのが楽しいって思う私が一番許せない。だからきっと悪いのは私なんだね。ツケが回ってきたっていうのはそういうこと。だって君がどうだろうと、たとえ普通の男の子でも今が来ればもう会えないって時間が止まればいい。今がやってこなければいい。たとえやってきてもね、藤井くん。君も綾瀬さんも遊佐くんもきっと何も知らないままいなくなっちゃうから、それでもいいやって。友達のままさよならできるだろうから、それはそれでいいやって。ずるいね。汚いね。私って。だから今、こんな風に。痛い。
先輩。
She looked down and bit her lip, trembling as he cradled her own shoulders with her arms. The gist of what she said was that she knew the crazy events surrounding us were going to happen. However, she didn't expect me to be part of it too. Not a moment within our daily life together was a lie, and the fact that it had been so mercilessly destroyed pained her to no end. It was making her hate both me and herself. Then what did she mean by bringing up the scenario where I'm a normal student, or by saying that our group could have made our friendly goodbyes? It felt almost as if she or the rest of us, or maybe both, were going to disappear for good.
もう痛いのは、いや、君が嫌がること。できない。そうするのが一番いいって分かってるのに、君が拒むからできない。
Saying that, Kimuro zipped up my pants, fastened my belt, fixed my clothes, and looked at me as if to say that she wouldn't do anything more. Then, after getting into a more comfortable posture, she put on a bashful smile and pressed her lips against mine.
勝ってね、藤井君。負けないで。もう、それしかないよ。
The kiss lasted for only a moment. It was less of a touch and more of a light graze. I tried to reach out to her as she stood up, but my binds restrained me, and I could do nothing but watch as she walked away from me without looking back. While silently walking away from the cell, Ray noticed something strange around her. No, that expression was unbefitting her case, for what she felt was part of her daily life. Off it may have been, but hardly unusual. She had always felt as if someone was watching her, observing each and every second of her life, regardless of where she was, whose company she shared, and what she was doing. Even at that moment, she felt the presence of a woman ridiculing her, a disinterested man and a woman doing their best not to show emotion. Ray was within the range of hearing and field of vision of these human-like creatures as they focused their direct yet roundabout attention on her. But that wasn't all. She also felt what seemed like fate itself. As cliche as that sounded, though she had no intention of decorating her situation with such gaudy descriptions. Basically, she was a prisoner of something she was unable to describe. A bird in a cage owned by something beyond herself. That particular something was so grand that the focus of those people and their gazes, engulfing her at that moment, weren't even worth the attention. It was ordinary. This was her day-to-day life, ever unchanging, no more than a slightly annoying inconvenience she could easily ignore. Or she thought. Or so she thought. It made her angry, drove her up the wall right to the limit of bearability. Her self-restraint was streaking as her patience almost started to break. The ridiculing woman was fine, the disinterested man too. And though the woman showing no emotion was rubbing her the wrong way, it wasn't enough for Ray to not tolerate her. Her problem lay with the other two. One was the woman acting oblivious, pretending to see and hear nothing. Ray didn't actually feel her presence, but exactly because of that lack of her attention, she was able to see the woman's stance on her situation. And in all honesty, it felt like a sick joke. What was Ray supposed to take from this? If the woman had the emotional capacity to sympathize with her and respect her privacy, why wasn't she trying to help her? Why wasn't she speaking up? In the end, she was just a hypocrite, only good at hesitating and worrying. If she was unable to or refused to do anything, Ray would have preferred she stopped acting like she understood her. Then there was the one man Ray had more problems with more than anyone else. He grieved, he lamented. He was the pervert who shed tears of sorrow with an expression of pure ecstasy on his face, acting like he became a virtuous saint blessed with the heavy trial of God. The man wallowed in his own pain like an alcohol enthusiast in fine wine. Was she candy to him? Poisonous yet too sweet to pass up? Enough with those sick jokes. This part of him was truly
大嫌い。
despicable. She stopped, glared into the darkness, and squeezed out those words.
大嫌いだよ、みんな。死んじゃえばいい。
That hurts, doesn't it? upsets you, doesn't it? But you like that, right? Be happy then. Laugh. Sure, you're always smiling, but that's just a mask, right? Where'd you get it anyway? I want one too. He continued staring daggers at the darkness for a dozen or so seconds, but then got disinterested by the lack of the response and decided to make her leave. But then...
リザとは仲良くしなさい。これは命令です。
うるさい。
Her voice, as she said it, said that was loud enough to surprise even herself. The priest warned her she would eventually come to regret it otherwise.
後悔って何？後で悔やむの後っていつ？私にそんなものが。
Her shout got drowned out by his arrogant words.
彼女がいなくなってしまえば、誰が朝寝坊なあなたを起こして学校に行かせるのですか？
うるさいバカ。もう話しかけないでバカ。
Yelling that, Ray stormed off into the darkness. With that, the presences of the sneering woman, the disinterested man, and the emotionless woman vanished like mist. However, the considerate woman who hid her presence slowly started to follow Ray as the darkness welcomed her. The man who had just been told that he was hated saw the spectacle, and it made him wear a wry smile.